But as we
And
tried to
I
get,
did.
you know what, Miss Ebony, we are learning the small glitches with this new technology every day, and that's usually one of the first
Yes.
things that our guests tend to do. But that's okay for good reason. You don't want to hear yourself until it's time to go, and we're get going here on
Right.
good things. Okay,
I
so
am
let's
doing
talk.
well, and thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes, and first, our condolences for your loss. I know it's been about a
Thank you.
year or maybe a little more since I'm sure your
Just
world
seven
was
months.
rocked. Oh, wow. So
Seven
just
months,
seven
June the
months.
15th.
So let's talk about Randy because reading a little bit about him, he sounded like a remarkable man, not only as a husband and father, but also as a community man. So what was he doing in the community?
Well, Randy was a person of many crafts and goals. Basically, his goal, he's always been a solutionary. Randy was one that loved his family very dear. He had more friends than you could even imagine. He was one that wanted to give back to the community as much as possible, from the elderly to the youth. Um, and as I tell many people, when you think of Randy, you think about what he would do for the next person before he would do for himself.
And at his core, too, he was an entrepreneur and a small business owner himself. And he utilized
Absolutely.
that business to give back. I love the story of him offering cars to those that may need
Right.
it most. Tell us about that.
Well, what happened with that is he was also a truck driver. And back in 2015, we had our last child, which was Mariah, our daughter. We have six girls and five boys. By birth, I have eight. But he came home to be with me after I had Mariah because I had a few complications. And in doing so, he was like, so many people reach out to him. Well, do you know this person who have a car they may want to sell, or this person? And his goal was to start creating a way for individuals and for especially single moms to be able to purchase vehicles without causing them to have future debts. So that project popped in his head, and we automatically went into action. We would travel from state to state. We would go to auctions. He would purchase vehicles. He would bring them back, and we would sell them whole cash. His goal was to eliminate future debts for the individuals, as well as I said, especially the single parents, the single mothers.
And he also had a soft spot in his heart for entrepreneurs, particularly Mississippi Black-owned businesses. And he wanted to reach out and create a community where they could find support and also, help each other. So how did that come along? Because I know that's part of his legacy that you are working hard to keep alive.
Exactly. Within the midst of him doing the automobile thing, he wanted to make a platform where individuals was able to network, to support each other, to cheerlead each other over with their goals and dreams. So he created the Mississippi Black-owned Business Group. That group was created to give Black-owned businesses a platform where they can network, collaborate, share skill trainings, share anything that can help build one another businesses. We did not expect for that group to flourish the way it did. It started with 515, went from 15 to 50. Before we knew it, we was at 500. As of today, we're actually at 1,600 members. Um, it flourished, Rebecca, so fast. It just went away with it. So we continue to collaborate, keep each other's in net, keep them in network, help them understand that whatever their dreams are, they can do it. And that was one of his biggest goals, was to let individuals know it's okay to be in corporate America, but you don't have to stay in corporate America.
And that you can step out, you have a support system, you can go for your dreams and goals and have a vision for yourself as your own, business owner. And then you have a group of people who will be there to support you along the way. I think anyone listening to Good Things that's a small business owner would say, it takes a lot of support from those around you, even if it's just
Absolutely.
emotional, to keep going through those hard
Absolutely.
days. Yeah. So when
Absolutely.
you went,
Because I'm
go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was just saying absolutely, because being an entrepreneurship with him, he knew that was one of the most hardest things, is having a family and trying to flourish something that was dear to your heart. So that was one of the main purposes for Mississippi Black owned businesses, to let them know, hey, we're out here with you. How can we help?
And it's also to bring awareness, too, of where we put our money, to shop locally, to shop with intention, to make sure that we recognize all the businesses that are on our main streets and beyond, and to make sure that we support small business owners of all kinds here in Mississippi. That helps all of us
Yes.
listening to good
Yes.
things. Now, talking about support, you've walked through probably one of the hardest seasons of your life, Ebony, losing Randy 7 months ago. How did you find the courage or even the inspiration to continue the Mississippi Black-owned business Facebook group? Excuse me.
That was one of his things, one of his most pride and joys that he had done since we've been together. Me and Randy been married 12 years. Besides his children, seeing other people flourish was something that really made him smile. So I knew if I was able to just push through and continue that, and I did. A lot of those individuals in that group, once they heard about him, the love and the outpouring and the support was amazing. So I knew I had to continue with that because he was a big part of them as well as us.
So if we have someone listening to Good Things Today, Ebony, and this sounds right up their alley to connect with and be a part of, how do they get to be a part of the Mississippi Black-owned businesses group?
So the way to join Mississippi Black Owned Business Group, you can one go to the Mississippi Black Owned Business Group page on Facebook. You can basically request to join. We do approve all before we just let anyone in. Or you can contact me at ebonymclaughlin80@gmail.com and we will get you connected.
And this means something to you, too, not just as a wife and a supporter of Randy and then all of, obviously, the businesses that are represented, but you're a small business owner. You have your own
I am.
organization, Infinity Youth, where you're up to some really good things there. I think it's on the Gulf Coast, correct? Ebony is where
We
you're
are a
based?
hub. Absolutely. We are based out of Mississippi. Gulf Coast is where we're based out of, but we service global. And Mississippi Black owned business became a very big support of them. We have many that comes in from there and they mentor or they allow the youth of certain whatever their desire is. If they meet them and they match them as mentorship, they shadow them. So Infinity Youth is a nonprofit organization, and basically what we do is we give the youth of today and young adults the necessary tools where they're able to flourish and be successful for tomorrow.
And one of your programs is Road to Success, share where you take college tours as well as taking them to business expos. I think that's an incredible niche that often gets overlooked for young students who may be curious about the next step in their education.
Yes, one of our major program is Road to Success. Road to Success is an academic program, and what we do is we make sure the youth and young adults understand the necessities of their academics. We make sure they understand what is needed for their academics and what is not needed. What I have witnessed over the years is we have a lot of students taking courses that they may not need. We have some not taking the courses that they need, and at the last minute they may be in a battle somewhere trying to make sure they're where they need to be. So Road to Success gives them a platform where, and when I say platform, we have a journal that was created where they journal all of the academics that's needed so they can keep up with it, plan it out, because we have many of them that's able to graduate their 11th grade year, but their 12th grade year, they're still in school, but they're able to take some of their advanced courses for college. So we have a lot of them that comes out of school that's already either halfway to associates or they have their associates. Now, one of the major things I like about Road to Success, it is such a wide range. We collaborated with the young lady, Siobhan Collins, which is over Gold Rush Studios down in Gulfport, Mississippi. And we allow the kids to express and express in arts of dance. I didn't quite think that would have been a good connection on academic wise with the students, but honestly, Rebecca, it was amazing. It gave them so much joy and focus to be able to come out and overdo their energy to stay focused on their academics.
Well, I know it brings a lot of joy and focus to those that are a part of Mississippi Black-owned businesses. Ebony, you and Randy were and still are a power couple for Mississippi. I
Thank you.
appreciate all that you are doing.
Thank you.
Folks can find you on Facebook at Mississippi Black-owned businesses as well as Infinity Youth. And I feel like we're going to be
Correct.
keeping in touch. There's so many more good
Yes,
things
we are.
here to talk about. So I appreciate your time.
I thank you so much, Rebecca, and you guys have an amazing day.
All right, you stick with us. We've got more for you up next.